Hello guys, and welcome back to this corner of my kitchen. I'm Sadaf, and today I'm gonna show you how to calibrate your oven without a thermometer. Well, this guy, he is a big liar. It says that it's 180 centigrade or 365 Fahrenheit, but it's not. I bet you it's not. The times that I've made a perfect cake or cookie or anything, and this guy has ruined it, countless. Well, today we are going to fix it. We're going to make you be friends again with your oven and learn how to calibrate it without even using a thermometer. So today we are going to use our good friend in baking, sugar. Here I have some sugar, regular granulated sugar. As you know, the melting point of sugar is actually same as the standard time of baking goods. It is around 180 centigrade, so it's pretty much equal. It has some variation depending on where you live, what size if the granules of the sugar, but it's pretty much good enough that we can use this. So how we are going to use sugar to calibrate our oven is pretty easy. First, go to your oven and then pick a number. For example, mine is from 100 to 230, and I want to find which one is the true 180 centigrade. I know that it says 180 is here, but I don't trust it, and I've burned a lot of cakes to not trust it again. What we are going to do is at first preheat your oven, as always, as usual that you do with any cake, into any kind of, for example, I'm going to choose the 180 that it shows in the oven. So I'm going to preheat it for around 15 minutes. While it's preheating, why we are using sugar is because, well, baked goods have sugar in it, or things that are in baked goods have the molecules of sugar in it, so they are going to melt eventually. Have you ever noticed that the sugar is always considered as wet ingredients? For example, in my recipes, when I said add dry ingredients to the wet ingredients, I never mean sugar as dry ingredients. I always mean add sugar to the eggs. This is called the wet ingredient. But the sugar is going to be added into the dry ingredients. I always said add the dry ingredients including sugar, because this is not. But why do you think sugar is actually categorized as a wet ingredient? Do you know that? Well, if you know, put a comment down below and let me know your guesses. And if you don't know, well, stick to the rest of the video to find out. And how we are going to determine it? Well, grab a little piece of parchment paper and pour your sugar around a tablespoon on the middle of it. When it's preheated, place the parchment paper with a tablespoon of sugar in the middle of your oven. Do not put it too low or too high or on the two sides. Put it exactly in the middle, exactly when you will put your cake in it. So I'm going to pour my sugar and put it in the middle and show you the time lapse of what will happen, and then we're going to repeat this stage 3 times with 3 different temperatures to show you how to find your perfect temperature for your oven and calibrate it easily without any equipment, just a paper and a little bit of sugar. And when you are pouring the sugar, make sure that it's on the center of a paper and it's in a dome shape so that it doesn't have an irregular shape. Well, when I have put my sugar on the 180 centigrade that is shown in the oven, the sugar, when I put it in the oven in the middle, immediately, like after 30 seconds, it starts to burn and bubble from the sides. This is an indicator that the temperature is too high, and we don't want that. So this means that what is happening to this sugar on a paper will happen to the sugar in your cake too, and I'm sure you don't want your sugar to just burn and taste like coal. Notice that the sugar is starting to burn from the outside to the inside, and when it's burning, it's clear that the temperature is too much. So what should you do? As you can see, our sugar is pretty much burned, and that's not what we want. The outside is burned and the middle is not even melted. It's just starting to get melted. So what you want to do is actually turn off your oven, take the sugar out. This is my 180, this is 190, this is 180. And I want to drop it to around 20 degrees. If your oven is pretty much precise, you can drop it to just 5 degrees, but I'm trying to drop it to the lowest settings, which is about 120 centigrade, to see what happens here. So 180 for me was too hot, and my sugar is now pretty much all burned up. So that's not what I want, obviously. But what I want is to preheat my oven again and see what happens. By the way, when you are readjusting the temperature, let the door of the oven be open, the previous temperature, to cool down, so we are not interfering or cross-contaminating the temperature with each other. Make sure that you are giving it around 5 minutes in between so that the temperature is correct. Then let it preheat again for another 15 minutes in your second temperature, which is the lowest temperature. So now I've preheated my oven to around 120 centigrade, which is very lower than the previous temperature, and I have put my sugar inside the oven, and just let's see what happens. Because this temperature is much lower than the previous temperature, the sugar, it's not starting to melt. It's getting warmed up, but it's obviously not starting to bubble and sizzle like the previous one. So we know that this temperature is not enough. And if you bake your cake in this low temperature, your cakes will be raw at the end, or it will deflate and it will be rubbery.
1 hour later.
Well, it doesn't matter how much you stay for this temperature for the sugar to melt, it will never melt because it's way lower than the melting temperature. So just take it out. And for the next time, now I am choosing my third temperature, which this time is 140. So first I did it at 190, then 120, and now I am choosing around in the middle, which is about 145 for me. Also guys, sorry if my oven is pretty dirty. I've tried everything. If you know a solution to clean ovens pretty well, let me know. Well, I don't know if you can see, but the sugar is actually starting to melt very slowly from the sides to the center. Please note that it's not sizzling, it's not burning, and it's not staying solid. It's starting to melt really slow because it is on its melting point, and the temperature is perfect enough for it to melt, brown a little, but not burn, and that's what we want to happen in our cakes too. So this is a really important fact. Please find your oven temperature very slowly. Sometimes a little 5 degrees will go a long way, and you want to make sure that it's precise, so every time you bake something, it's going to come out as good as always. As you can see, this one is the one that was in the lowest temperature. This one is in the right temperature. It's melted, but it's not burned, and it's pretty much caramelized, and it's in the perfect shape. But this one is on the actual. As you can see, this is what happens. We don't want that, we want this. This is at the actual 180, and it was wrong. Well, this was definitely a really good video to make. I really hope you enjoyed it and you do it and find if this guy is a liar or not, and you have a liar in your house. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to smash that like button so that this video gets to more people and more people will find out if their oven is right or not. And share this video with your friends, with your family, with people who, you know, they have struggles with baking and they think that they are doing the wrong thing. Well, while they are not, the problem is not with them, it's with this guy, their oven. So if you enjoyed it and you want to see more delicious videos, fun facts, hacks tested, a lot of good stuff, don't forget to hit that subscribe button too, so that we can make the family bigger and spread this video to more people. Well, before you go, don't forget to check out this video that I've prepared for you. And after that, I will see you later in the next video.